All right. What's up? Happy Tuesday. Um, my name is Mike. I'm with Super Tracker Podcast, aka Voyager Nation. I'm here to answer all your questions when it comes down to owner operator business opportunities with Voyager. And as a filler, besides answering all the questions that we're going to be getting, also I will be talking about problematic commodities that owner operators should avoid at all cost, because there is a lot of mistakes being made. A lot of people don't know any better, and if nobody talks about it, it's going to be very difficult to figure out what is what. All right, let me see. We have a few people on TikTok. That's good. Nothing on Facebook yet. YouTube, we got two. Thanks, ma'am. All right. All right. Let's talk about the commodities. Forklifts, very problematic commodity. A lot of people think we can strap them with straps, or maybe brace them. It's actually a lot more problematic than that. Forklifts are extremely heavy, and because we're so heavy, your straps are not gonna hold at all. So it is not going to be something that you want to do, unless we're talking about dry van freight here. So unless you have a dry van that has uh, special rings in the floor that you can chain up the forklift to, uh, you should not be hauling forklifts. I actually seen trailer loaded with forklifts. Once those forklifts start moving, let's say if your straps pop or the bracing not holding up, I've seen the trailer sitting still and slowly starts leaning to the side while at a standstill, not even moving anywhere. So it's actually that bad. If you guys can let me know if you can hear me okay, because I'm not sure how everything sounds. I do not have ability to check. So if you can hear me okay, let me know. All right, paper rolls. That's another very problematic. Nobody thinks about it twice. However, unfortunately, a lot of shippers ignoring it. And if you guys don't know, every paper roll needs to be placed on a rubber pad. I've seen a lot of owner operators that's been in business for a long time, and we do not know that. So I guess the industry is just ignoring it, because the paper rolls are extremely heavy, and if you're going to just load them up, we will shift, and that's a very easy rollover. Uh, you definitely need rubber mats under every single roll. So if you go to a facility that loads paper rolls, you have to demand those rubber mats under every single roll, or else that's not proper loading. And if you're not gonna say anything and we're gonna ignore it, and now you're gonna get in trouble, that's gonna be on you. So stay in the know. Mattresses, that's another problematic commodity. Most of the time, because of loading sometimes can take a very long time, often loaded by hand, so you want to stay away from that. Floor loaded boxes, again, just common sense. A lot of that is actually hand loaded, so again, takes long time to load, long time to offload, and you're not in the business of waiting. You're in the business of driving. So help yourself avoid any floor loaded cargo. Produce and dry vans, that's a specific one that we can talk a little bit more about. For example, here in Florida, we have this imaginary watermelon season, which I haven't seen a really strong watermelon season for years already. So, but every time, that's about that time when watermelon season starts, everybody is looking for watermelon loads. However, that's just a mistake. Stay away from watermelons because you can book a dry load, not haul any watermelons, and get paid the same because you will be able to negotiate that same rate as watermelons just for a dry goods. And the broker may argue, we may say, man, it's not watermelons. So what? Okay, if you want to ship it, then wait for watermelon season to be over and we'll come pick it up. But right now, it's watermelon season. So that's the price that you have to pay. And for the most part, a little bit back and forth, you can get watermelon load rate without hauling watermelons. Again, watermelons very problematic commodity. A lot of times, you go in the fields and then it rains and then you're stuck there for 2 days. It's hand loaded. Uh, quite often, also, if we load in the bins, we may double stack a couple of bins somewhere around the middle. And what it does, if you put like the cardboard bin full of watermelons, and now you put another cardboard bill thing on top of that, it's gonna bend the edges of that cardboard box. And a lot of times, uh, hi Zaid Hussein. Um, a lot of times, the shitty receiver is gonna mark it as damaged. Let's say you have four bins double stacked out of a full load. The four bottom bins have bent edges of the cardboard. There is nothing wrong with watermelons, and we're gonna mark four bins damaged. And if you're gonna say like, "Come on, man, it's not the damage. It's just a cardboard." Uh, which country you are from? We are from U.S. of A. Right here in a beautiful Lakeland, Florida. All right. So, and then you really want to push back against them in India. Pretty awesome. All right. We may argue that it's not a big deal. It just we just have to put it on the paper. But then what happens later? Later, you submit all the paperwork, and somebody sees four bins damaged, and here you have a claim. So you really want to avoid that. So if you're hauling watermelons already, pay attention to things like these. It's either no damage at all, or you're gonna have a claim. So any shitty remarks like the packaging is damaged is still gonna end up as a claim against your watermelon load, and you don't want to do that. Also, the watermelons, you go through produce warehouses, uh, and then that's another problematic. You're gonna be dealing with lumpers and everything else. Let me see. I got some comments here. Um, okay, can you tell what trucks are more reliable based on the fleets you guys manage? Which ones consume less diesel and make most successful owner operators? Well, I think the best trucks are the trucks that the big fleets are using. So, in my opinion, again, it's not going to be very popular. Volvos are really, really good. Freightliners are amazing trucks. ProStar, those rounded up Peterbilts and Kenworth, they are not my favorite. Plus Packard engines, I'm not a big fan of those. But I know for a fact that, for example, Freightliner Cascadia is actually a really, really neat truck that has a really, really good fuel economy. Also, fairly cheap to maintain. It's easier to tell what trucks not to get. So if you're looking at one of those badass looking long nose speeds or Kenworths, and I don't want anybody to start throwing phones out the window while listening to this. You want to stay away from all these classic chromed up trucks because those are the worst. You may like it. However, I love the way we look too, but we're not a good business tool. Absolutely not. I would never get a truck like this. I know I know some old school drivers. We love it. I love the way we look, but I do not love the fuel economy because a lot of times we run like at 4.5 miles of a gallon. Sometimes that's on a good day. So how are you supposed to make money with that? There are trucks out there these days, pushing 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 miles for a gallon. That's the trucks that you want to get. So just get a conventional sleeper truck, Freightliner, Volvo, ProStar. You can also, you can explore the Kenworth or Peterbilt. Just make sure those are not those classic models. But I would stick with Volvo and Freightliner. That would be my two top choices. They may not be the cutest trucks on the road. However, we are good working horses for owner operator to make money. Another thing that I would focus is in general the the condition of a truck. So, for example, a lot of owner operators usually buy a used truck. So, if you're buying a used truck, do not buy a beater. Do not buy a project truck. You have to buy a truck that's gonna give you at least like 300,000 miles before any chance of any kind of overhaul or something like that. And for the most part, if you wanna, even if you reach that point, it's easier to change the truck than to go through all the pains of overhaul, because overhaul does not mean that you have a new engine now. It just means that you have a very expensive overhaul, and even if it comes with a warranty, there are gonna be kinks that gonna need to be worked out. You're gonna be going back to the same facility where you did overhaul several times before it works. At least in my experience, at least looking at the owner operators who were dealing with these problems. So I don't know if you lived to the point of overhaul. I hope you already have enough experience to know, and then that's up to you what you're gonna do. I would suggest swap a truck, but if you're buying a truck for the first time, don't even look at anything that has 6, 7, 800,000 miles on. Just this is not for you. Like, unless you're doing some local crap and you get that truck for really, really cheap, stay away from these trucks. We're gonna give you more headaches than anything else. So hope that helps, guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm here to entertain you for about let me see, for another almost 45 minutes or so. So feel free to ask questions. Also, how much experience do you need to lease on to Voyager? 2 years experience, no major record of any kind. So you want to make sure you keep that record clean, regardless with Voyager or with anybody else. Keep that record clean. Even if you get violations for a truck, that's not an excuse that the truck is not yours. Uh, you you're responsible for driving that truck. So if there is issues with a truck, let the company know. You guys have to fix it. I'm not gonna be putting my record online for your beat up truck. That's probably one of those trucks that we bought when it was already 800,000 miles. Probably long no speed, most likely. All right. Do you guys dispatch or do you book my own freight? You drive, we hunt. We do what we do best. You do what you do best. Um, even the carriers that allow owner operators to dispatch themselves, sort of, kind of like the load board thing, like Landstar. This is not a real load board. You're only playing in a sandbox of Landstar. You're not in the big world of cargo. So that's just a gimmick illusion to kind of sell you the I control my own destiny type of thing, but in reality, you're just digging through the trash can. That's all you do. All right. Is Voyager a scam? Absolutely. We are here online putting our faces in front of everybody just to scam $5 from you. All right. How do you get started? Go to VoyagerNation.com, click a link, apply now, and you're going to be on the way. We can wrap up the whole process in about 36 to 48 hours. That's assuming that this is how fast you want to go, and that's assuming that you have everything handy that you need. So our speed is about 36 to 48 hours between you calling and you are on the load. All right, what else? How do you get paid? ACH every Tuesday. All right, let's get it back for a minute, guys. Feel free to ask any questions. By the way, my name is Mike. I'm with Voyager Nation. Give us a call 863-342-5171 if you're looking for owner operator business opportunities. We're based out of Lakeland, Florida. Or just drop any kind of owner operator question in the comments and I will answer it. By the way, I'm only monitoring comments to the best of my ability on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on TikTok, I may or may not see your comment. So if you want me to see the comment, go to YouTube. I'm monitoring that for the most part. Other questions are just random picked up questions from the social media that you guys left over last several days. All right, let's get back to the problematic cargo for a moment. Tires are a big problem because if I'm not sure if you guys ever pulled tires, they gonna make your trailer smell like a freaking burning rubber for about a month. And if you're going to pick up any kind of food grade products, you will be rejected. So before you take a tire load, think twice, because there is plenty of loads out there that don't leave those headaches after we are off your trailer. All right, furniture. That's there is a whole bunch of things wrong with furniture. Furniture loads usually pretty light. Actually, that's a good thing. However, it's less than standard packaging, so a lot of times we're not on pallets. We are very randomly packaged. Takes a long time to load and offload. Almost impossible to notice the damage immediately if there is any at the time of loading. So expect all the problems thrown at you at the delivery. Very very high likelihood of claims. Also long time to offload. Also depends where it's going. You really want to make sure it's not household goods, so you're not hauling, load of furniture to somebody's house or castle, because full trailer of furniture must be a pretty big house. Uh, so you really wanna stay away from furniture loads, or if you have to haul it, make sure it pays enough because expect hours to get loaded and at least hours, sometimes a day, to get offloaded. Again, it all depends. Um, Also, the furniture, very important. Make sure it doesn't look all beat up. Sometimes there is a return furniture, and maybe it was damaged on the way to the receiver, and now the receiver is sending it back. So you don't want that to end up as your claim for someone else's problems. All right, what else we got here? Beverages. Well, beverages usually, like, first of all, they're cheap. Second of all, a lot of big beverage warehouses are unionized using union lumber services. So takes forever to get loaded and offloaded. Plus, we don't even pay that well. Super heavy. In general, if you can avoid it. But at the end of the day, money talks, bullshit walks. So just you got a business to run. But if you have other options, consider other options. Batteries, that's my favor. Um, the problem with batteries, we are technically not hazardous, but if there is any leak out of them, any leak, and it could be like not necessarily acid or anything like that, it could be just I don't know, a little bit of water trap there or something that spills, becomes hazmat immediately. So imagine you picking up a load, a non-hazardous load of batteries. One battery falls out of the pallet, you just got yourself a hazmat load. So if your cargo is being inspected at the time of DOT inspection, and you have a battery laying on the floor, or worst, leaking, right away, that's a hazardous load. And then you will have to, all these things, like when you say, "Oh, but I'm gonna tell them it's not a," nobody's gonna listen. Nobody cares. This is how we almost went out of business years ago. Did cost us probably 2 years of pain and suffering, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional expenses, totally not deserved. Picked up a load of batteries, uh, load of recycled dry batteries, and still managed to get an inspection like that. So also, I think we are not alone. A lot of carriers have dealt with issues like this, and it feels like more and more carriers rejecting to hold batteries. So nobody wants to do it, um, and the broker is getting smart about it. So a lot of times we present the batteries as auto parts. So anytime you are talking about a load and the broker says it's load of auto parts, make sure it's not batteries. Unless you want to deal with problems that I just described, then do you. However, our policy is absolutely no batteries at all, because just think about it, how unfair that is. If you're a non-hazmat carrier, right? So you're not trained for hazmat. The driver is non-hazmat driver, so he's not trained to haul hazmat. All, realistically, if you're being just logical, you think, okay, if the rate confirmation says non-hazardous batteries, that means it's non-hazardous. So if I'm a non-hazardous, non-hazard certified driver, uh, working for a carrier that doesn't hold hazmat, picking up a load that's not hazmat, how in the hell it can turn into hazmat halfway through? Well, it does. So absolutely unfair. I think there is a glitch in the system. I think there is a glitch in the legalities. But now you know. So make sure you share it with your friends, with your trucking buddies. Make sure you spread that information around, that batteries can become hazardous while in your possession. So, by the way, guys, if you're watching this video, please like, share, subscribe. Give me a like. I see quite a few people watching. 0 likes yet, so I guess I suck. But hit the like, help the brother out, and then also consider subscribing. Thank you. I see that somebody gave me a thumbs up. Very nice. Thanks. Um, Also, please subscribe. If later you see our content is shit, then you can always unsubscribe. But once you're gonna be subscribed, you will be able to see more of our content out there. So we have some good stuff going on here. I'm probably the most boring person on this channel, so we have more smart asses too. All right, what else? So we covered batteries. Just stay away from batteries in general. Fuck batteries. Scrap metal also very problematic on multiple levels. Number one, a lot of times when you go to pick up scrap metal, you're going to a scrap metal place. That place is loaded with all kinds of sharp objects on the ground. The chances for you to catch a nail in your tire or some piece of metal in your tire is extremely high. So it's just a bad place to go to begin with. Also, for the most part, you're delivering in the same type of place. So if you didn't catch a nail or worse in your tire at the pickup, you're probably gonna get one at the delivery. Also, some small metal shavings and stuff that can damage your trailer long term. So, for example, if you're hauling metal shavings, first of all, we get into all kinds of like small gaps in the trailer, and we just stay there. Impossible to clean. Also, once we fall on the wooden floor and the forklift drives over it multiple times, we get pushed into the floor. And then anytime you're gonna go to pick up food grade load, when we're inspecting that trailer with a UV light, um, you will be rejected. So to the eye, your trailer, the last time you hold metal shavings was 6 months ago. To your eye, there is not any sign of this trailer ever loaded with a metal shavings, and yet you still getting rejected. That's not cool. Lucas, focus on trucks around 2020 or newer. We do 8-9 miles per gallon. Cummins engine would be better. I agree. I agree. As far as the engine, I'm a big fan of Cummins. I haven't been driving for a long time already, so time's changing. But I know the new trucks, 8-9 miles per gallon. That's very common. Also, Cummins engine used to be really really good. So I would stick to Cummins or Detroit. Detroit was kind of shit back in the day, but I think the recent fuel economy in the Cascadias, I think, uh, changed that quite a bit. So Cummins, Detroit, good engines, stick to those. And yes, also talking about 2020 or newer, in order for you to have a good running truck, you gotta get a quality truck. So if you're talking about the used truck that's gonna be anywhere from like 300,000 to 500,000 miles, it better be 2020 or newer, right? Because if that's 2015, the mileage is also probably what, like close to a million or over a million if that truck was used properly. So thanks for a tip, trucking agent. All right, what else we got here? So scrap metal, stay away. Save your trailer. Save your trailer and avoid future issues with overloads because you don't need to haul a scrap metal. Baled aluminum, very difficult to secure. It's sliding all over the place. Bracing is gonna damage your uh, let me see, trucking agent exactly, and sell it before 750, 800,000 miles. I agree. That would be my choice. Buy a truck. uh, I mean, if you want to go for a new one, go for a new one. But generally speaking, owner operator, good owner operator truck that has plenty of meat on it for you to make money. You want to get a truck that's somewhere between 300 to low 400s, and then run it until 750, 800,000 miles. Depends on the truck, depends on the condition, depends how you do, how it works out for you, and how you take care of that truck. And then get rid of it, sell it to the local guy, let him have his project truck, and buy another truck and carry on. That's, I think, bulletproof business model for those who are buying used trucks. And for the most part, you're going to be okay. So, your chances of needing overhaul before 750 or 800,000 miles are slim to none. And as a matter of fact, I would argue there are more made up overhauls that's being done out there than people really needing them. I myself, years ago, just got a funny sound in my transmission. Uh, Decided to check it out in the truck stop, just in case. Maybe maybe I don't see something. And the TA in I think Rollins or Laramie, Wyoming, told me that I need to rebuild the transmission because we see shavings in the oil. And I'm looking at the same oil and I don't see no shavings. Went all the way to California, came back from California to Midwest, took it to my mechanic, and adjustment of airbag leveler solved all my problems. And the TA was suggesting me to rebuild the transmission. I've seen too many bad examples when people, in panic, first time owner operators. We always tell them never go to a truck stop for service. Just don't do it, especially TA or any in general. And once we panic, the first thing we do, we run straight to TA, and then we start hearing stories like, "Oh man, I need to do overhaul on this engine," and we're talking about the truck that's like under 500,000 miles. Like I can't guarantee you, but in my opinion, half of those overhauls are made up. I mean, we're probably gonna do an overhaul if you pay for it, but do you even need one? That's the question. So knowing your equipment is very important. All right. All right. Going back to the problematic cargo. Oil, totes, bags, boxes, you name it. Before I go with that, guys, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you don't like the content later. You can always unsubscribe, but don't don't lose this channel. We have a lot of good information for a first-time owner operators. So something that you can use not only while at Voyager, but anywhere else you go in trucking. Just a solid owner operator specific information. Give us a call, 863-342-5171. We have Nina standing by. If you have any questions about business opportunities at Voyager Nation, we're here to help. So going back to oil loads, huge liability. I a lot of oil loads are not packaged properly. I've seen the worst way to package a load. We take a cardboard box, we put a plastic liner in it, we pour the oil, then we close the bag, close the cardboard box, and this is we put those on the pallets, and that's how we ship. Here's the problem: a lot of times while loading, the forklift would puncture one of these boxes, and the oil, because it's not like water, it starts slowly leaking out. Even if the puncture is very small, it's gonna start slowly leaking out. And as you going and your trailer is bouncing and moving around, that leak becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, once that box is already half empty, the other boxes are already wet from it, so we're losing the strength, and also the pressure from the boxes around it is just squishing that box into nothingness, and that's how the whole load starts becoming a shit show with a lot of leaking oil. And now you have oil dripping through the back of your trailer. You are on the highway, and you have leaking oil um, falling on the road, a huge hazard for everybody else. And even though it's technically not your fault, you don't want to be in that situation. We had quite a few situations in our lifetime here with very, very problematic oil loads. Even totes, those big plastic totes, we get punctured, and then we start slowly leaking out. And then by the time you're going to get to the shipper, it's not looking good. And then sometimes, like for example, the tote is very easy uh, to see where the puncture happened. So at least you can still fight that claim. But for example, with the cardboard boxes, man, that's bad. I don't even know how is this legal, but apparently it is. And don't be the guy who's gonna be stuck with that situation somewhere on the road, because you will need like a hazmat cleanup crew, all kinds of things. And we probably talking, like, I remember one of those incidents we had. Just the cleanup alone was like $40,000 or $50,000. So, and we're not talking about the cleanup of the highway. We're talking about, the at least the truck was parked when most of the leak happened. So um, that's a pretty big bill to pick up for something that you didn't do. And now if that's just a cardboard boxes with a plastic liner, man, it's gonna be almost impossible to prove that it's a shipper's loading error. Best way to avoid it. Also, a lot of other oil packaging, like we got those little barrel looking metal cans. A lot of times we put them on the pallets. We're not really made to be stacked and sit nicely. So any little movement here or there, or if the shipper leaves too much gap, it's like a house of cards. Once it starts falling, the whole load goes to shit. So stay away from oil loads in general, especially if we're not packaged properly. And what's a proper packaging? We make sure it's square, make sure it sits tight, make sure it's wrapped strong enough, so you don't have to deal with problems like this. All right, what else we got here? Automotive parts, again, wouldn't be such a big deal. However, automotive parts and batteries in the recent years became synonymous. So always double check. So auto parts, it's cool, but make sure it's not batteries. Double check, triple check. Make sure you're not getting something that's gonna get you in trouble later on. Even though it's a non-hazardous, it can say non-hazardous on the rate confirmation. It can say non-hazardous on a bill of lading. One battery falls off the rack, or starts leaking, even if it's not acid, just condensation or whatever, you will be in deep, deep shit. So stay away. Used electronics return goods. So I'm sure everyone who's been around trucking for a little bit, you've seen loads that it's kind of mixed commodities of all kinds of things wrapped around. It looks like it's been damaged before. Um, Stay away or document it properly. So, for example, if you're picking up one of these loads, take some pictures, make your dispatcher aware of that, and let them make that decision. If you are the one that dispatches and drives and everything else, I would say walk away, or at least take a picture of every single pallet being loaded in your trailer and make sure it's loaded in a way that it's gonna get to the delivery in the same shape as it got loaded. Because a lot of times with those mixed commodities, we're not secured properly, we're not shrink wrapped adequately, and then it starts falling apart. And the cost of that cargo is very, very difficult to determine because there is a lot of different products in that trailer, and now your claim can be huge. So if it looks like the product was damaged before, a lot of times these are return products. Uh, just have a recorded conversations, not necessarily verbal. I think for those situations, best to have a email communication chain. Send the pictures to your dispatcher, to the broker. Make them to acknowledge that. Also, get the shipper to write in the bill of lading saying that this is a damaged goods that's being shipped or returned goods or old stuff. Make sure it's crispy clear that this is not a new product to avoid all the liability in the future. If we're just gonna say it's okay, no, it's not okay. If it's not in writing, it does not exist. So before you pick it up, make sure everyone is aware of that. And then if we say okay, okay, cool. I mean, would still be better not to do it, but at least then you have a chance to avoid all the blame that's being thrown at you when it's a problem. Remember, the times are tough in economy, so don't become a victim of some shipper that just who just trying to get rid of a product we cannot sell, and now we want to put it on somebody's trailer and claim the loss. So just be careful. uh, Pain or chemicals, non-hazmat. Leaks can happen, anything can happen, and unless you're some big shot in chemistry, I would say stay away from it, because we may not even know what other commodities are similar to batteries that can get you in trouble for doing nothing wrong, just because of the way it's packaged or mixed or whatever the case is. Because sometimes it can be one product as a standalone is not a hazmat, but you put two different products together, and all of a sudden you got yourself a bomb. So be careful. All right. Let me see. Let me see what else we got here. We got do you guys offer health insurance? No, we do not. We only work with owner operators. So unless your position is in the office, like a dispatcher, safety, billing, no. We offer good freight. We offer business opportunities for you to make money and buy your own health insurance if you need it. Think like a businessman. You're no longer an employee. Um, that must be a joke. I only want to run 800 miles a week. Is that okay? I mean, cool, but you're gonna be broke very, very soon. That's just not how this industry works. Hmm. What's a split? 75-25. Uh, that's if you use our trailer. Very clean. No gimmicks, no nickeling and diming. You're only responsible for the split, which is 75-25, and that includes everything that you need except for plates and escrow. So if you need our plates, that's going to be extra, and then if you obviously everybody needs to have escrow, that's $1,500. Once we deduct that from 10 settlements, and then there is nothing else left. Uh, how much do your owner operators gross? Well, it depends what we do. We have owner operators doing local, we have owner operators doing regional, we have owner operators doing OTR. Everybody runs different schedule. Just like I said, uh, you are the business. You decide how much money you make with what you put in. That's what you get out. Uh, I don't wanna give you bad information, because if I'm gonna give you an example of some dude that runs the whole clock every week, 70 hours, and he's making 8, 9, sometimes $10,000 per week gross, and you want to do that same thing doing local work, it's not gonna work. Period. It's not gonna be an information that's gonna match your work effort. So just depends on what type of work you do. Let's see. Do you need a tweak? No, you do not, but it always helps. It really helps. However, we have about 50-50 split. About 50% of the drivers, we do have tweak, others don't. We can work around it. Not a big deal. But if you can get one, get one. It's going to help. Can I pick my lanes? Absolutely. But hope you can make good decisions by doing that. And if you do not know industry that well, I'd rather have you trust your dispatcher and work with your dispatcher, because your dispatcher is gonna know what's paying these days, what are good areas to go. Because if you're running off the truck stop gossip, we run off data. If you're running off truck stop gossip, your results will be just like truck stop gossip. Everybody is ripping everybody off. At least that's how everybody feels. Mhm. Can I lease purchase a truck through Voyager? No, we do not. We do not offer that. As a matter of fact, I would strongly, strongly advise any owner operator who is looking for a lease purchase. There are better places to do that. Like, for example, we have a lot of guys coming from Lone Mountain. Very reasonable down payment, pretty nice trucks, and you don't have to marry the carrier. So you can take that truck anywhere you go. The payment is usually very reasonable. So that's always a good thing. Uh, Stay away from all lease purchase programs offered by the carriers because it's just a recipe for disaster. Couple of different reasons, obviously. We have a video on our channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you don't lose the contact. And you can go and find the video talking about lease purchase. Just type in the search Super Trucker Podcast lease purchase, and then it's gonna give you plenty of options where we explain exactly what's wrong with carrier lease purchase programs. We all predatory by design. We may not be bad or evil people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that program, that mechanism of lease purchase from the carrier is way less than ideal, with slim to none chance of success. But there are plenty of third-party companies that we can hook you up with if you want. That gonna get you the truck at the with better a better package for a better truck than most carriers who have lease purchase programs. Do your trailers have e-track for load securement? Yes, sir. Thanks for a question, Melvin. All of our trailers are top of the line plated trailers